afternoon folks, welcome to Visordown and welcome to a hot and humid day here at Millbrook in Bedfordshire, where we've been getting our first proper taste of the new 2022 BSA Gold Star. Now I say first taste, but we did have a really short precursor ride on this thing at the Goodwood Festival of Speed, which, albeit only a mile or so up some posh bloke's driveway, it did give me a little bit of an idea about how the new Gold Star was going to handle and what sort of bike that it is. But today we've had a full day here at Millbrook, and while we haven't been riding them on the road, we've been simulating road conditions, both around town and also B roads, dual carriageways, even went on the high-speed bowl here at Millbrook. Probably done about 50 or 60 miles of just riding around. That's me judging from the odometer of the bikes, but of just riding around and really getting to grips with the thing. So what exactly is the 2022 BSA Gold Star? Well, it's coming in a few different versions first and foremost, so I'm going to give you a quick high-level overview of all of those. I'm checking my phone because there's a few different prices that we need to get through. So the bottom rung of BSA Gold Star ownership comes in the form of the Highland green bike that you should be looking at on your screen right now, and that is £6,500 on the road to UK customers. The next step up is £6,800, and that will bag you either the Insignia Red, the Midnight Black, or the Dawn Silver that you should have been all looking at on your screen right there. The top of the tree really, and the one that I think most people are going to go for, is this bike here, which is called the Legacy Silver Sheen, which is basically very similar to the other silver bike, and this one's got slightly different footrests in that they're powder coated black. You've got silver mirrors, you've got the chrome mirrors, you've got the chrome front and rear mudguards, and you've got the classy little white piping on the seat, and there's a little Union Jack emblem just embroidered onto the front of the seat as well, just to really set this bike apart from the rest of the range. Other than that, beneath the skin, it's all very much the same. The engine, the suspension, the frame, everything is pretty much the same across the board. So I'm going to go through the rest of that now. I'm going to start off by talking about the engine. So BSA, for the 2022 model, they've kept it really authentic to, you know, the most famous Gold Star of all time, and it is a big old single cylinder. It's pumping out 45 bhp, we're told. That's the claimed output, and the torque figure is 55 Newton meters. It is a single, so I mean, comparable to the other 650s in the class, the Continental GT, which is a twin cylinder engine, this is probably slightly less powerful, slightly less peppy, but one thing that I think it does have going for it is it does have that single cylinder character, which isn't really something else that you can get in this range, since Royal Enfield have basically knocked all the 500cc single cylinders off their ranges for the future. You can only buy second-hand models in that one. Out on the road, the engine just feels like a very easygoing and low-stressed engine. It's fairly quick. It will get you up to 100 miles an hour if you want, and we did try that out on the high-speed bowl here at Millbrook earlier on today. But really, this bike is happiest doing about 70 or 75 miles an hour and not much more than that. It's not to say that it won't go quicker, it just takes a very long time to get up there. I've got to say, one thing I was impressed with when we were riding it, and this was both the motorway speed stuff that we were doing and just the pootling around on the kind of the simulated A roads and B roads here at Millbrook, was how surprisingly vibe free this thing is. You get on it, a big 650 single, you expect the thing to thump around in your hands and get vibey at speed, but it's really very good. Now, BSA are claiming that is down to the engine being around 52% in balance, which for any engine, multi-cylinder, triple, twin, is really good. But for a single, it's actually pretty damn amazing that they've managed to do it. Full credit to them, because it does give the bike a very modern feel. There is almost no vibe through the bars at speed. The pegs are very nice. There's no vibe through there. You know, your feet aren't buzzing when you're getting off the thing, which is probably not something that a lot of original BSA Gold Star owners can say, because those things shake around like an absolute mad thing. So on that front, it's very good. It's quite a modern riding experience, and that translates into the clutch as well. It's very light. The gearbox is very direct. It's very easy to use, and all of that, it translates this feel that you could get on this bike never having ridden a classic bike, and it would just feel like any other modern bike on the market. That might upset some of the purists, because has it lost some of that actual classic bike character? I think it has, but I think to really progress into the modern age, you can't enter 2022 with a bike that's got that vibration and that internal character of a 1950s or 60s machine. So the suspension and handling of the bike, I mean, they've kept everything so authentically retro. We've got these really classy looking forks down here, which are made by an Indian firm called Gabriel. The rear shocks, of course, are the same company, so the Gabriel suspension front and rear. No adjustability apart from some preload on the rear shocks. Overall, it is a little bit soft. It's very compliant, but I think for British roads and for the people that are going to probably be buying these sort of bikes and the way that they're going to be riding them, I think they've pretty much hit the nail on the head. It does feel a little bit soft and a little bit wallowy, and it kind of like sort of darts around the road a little bit when there's small undulations, especially if you're carrying a lot of corner speed and a lot of lean angle. But actually it still does it all. We just did one last lap of the actual full loop here at Millbrook, and we were riding with Joe Aykroyd, the TT racer. And we were probably going as quick as you'd want to go on the road on one of these things. And it never felt like it was all at sea. It could handle it all, and we were scraping foot pegs and having all sorts of fun and laughing into our helmets. And that side of it was all very good. You can go out there and you can ride it like a modern bike, and it will just about do everything that you need of it. My only real gripe with it, and this is probably a fault of maybe budget hardware that BSA have chosen to use, the front brake feels like you're squeezing a Battenberg cake. It is so ridiculously soft. I didn't notice at Goodwood because you don't really use the brakes that much, but the front brake is ridiculously soft. I don't know whether it's pad compound. They've got Brembo calipers, so they're not obviously not anything good. It's kind of bottom rung Brembo calipers. It could be the pad compounds. It might be that they've just gone for some slightly cheaper brake lines and they're just expanding a little bit as you squeeze the lever. But again, overall it will do everything you need. The rear brake as well, very vague feeling and quite soft, but there is a rear brake there which helped for slow control. There's a kind of, they call it a city course here at Millbrook, which is very tight, all first and second gear. It's almost like one of those moto gymkhana courses, for want of a better phrase. Using the back brake round there quite a lot just to get the bike tightly into the corners, and it worked fine, no problems. ABS, slightly intrusive. You do get a pulsing through the lever, especially on some of the downhill stretches. You hit a little pothole or a little bump, and you are going to feel the ABS cutting in, and the bike sort of feels like it's running on. Again, think about the people that are going to be buying this, the way they're going to be riding it, and it's probably just about right. So to talk about the comfort of it, again, the riding position is typical classic bike. It's relaxed, it's upright, the upper body ergonomics are nice, the bars are nice and wide, you've got lots of leverage through those, which is great. The lower body ergonomics down to the pegs as well are good. A few people on the launch have said they thought the seat was a bit hard, but I actually don't think it is. I think it's quite nicely padded. It's not so soft that you go through it and you end up sitting on the frame rails. It's nice and supportive, and yeah, I think it would be actually quite a nice place to sit for quite a long journey. I didn't get a chance to check out the pillion seat, but like the rider seat, it's quite big, quite expansive. There is nothing to hold on to though, so if you're going to be taking someone on the back, you might want to have a look at that. But other than that, it's comfortable. And how far are you actually going to go on a BSA Gold Star? I guarantee you're not going to be doing UK or European tours on the thing, so how comfy does it actually need to be? So what do we like about the BSA Gold Star? I love the authenticity. There's some lovely design touches that BSA have put into this thing that you should look at as I'm pointing at them. But there's a little information dial on the top of the headlight, shows you neutral light. That is a throwback to a dial on the original BSA Gold Star. The tacho and the rev counter, they sweep round the dial in a clockwise direction from top to bottom and all the way back round again. Again, that is just typical of the original BSA Gold Star. And everything from the frame lines and the way that the frame loops round these sort of covers at the back there, down to the way that the rear passenger footrests are mounted to the frame, they're all throwbacks to the original Gold Star. And I think it's beautiful that BSA have done that, and it's a real nice nod to the original BSA Gold Star. I actually quite enjoy the way that it handles as well, because it's fun, it's lively, it darts about, and it never feels like it's all at sea. And the final thing is the comfort. I thought it was just great, comfortable, and I didn't have any issues for the time that we're riding today. I think I need to get one on test, sit on the motorway for a good few hours and see how it fares there. What don't we like about the BSA Gold Star? There's some elements of the styling and the design and the hardware that's been used that I think could be improved. The switchgear, for one thing, is juxtaposed to the rest of the bike so badly. Once you see it, you can't stop looking at it. I wish they'd done something slightly more retro. This could have come off any 125cc or 400cc commuter bike that's out there on the market in a minute, and it just looks a bit glaringly obvious that that is the case. The front brake is, there is enough power there, but that feel is not what I'm used to on a street bike. So I'd just maybe try swapping out the hoses for braided hoses and see if that improves the situation. So there we have it, the BSA Gold Star for 2022. It is around about the price of the Royal Enfield Continental GT, which is kind of what BSA needed to do. That's its biggest rival in this sector, I would say. It's actually probably a little bit more expensive when you look at the topper models, when the top models in the range, like this bike here, the Legacy Silver Sheen. I think it's a different proposition though. I think because there isn't really another single that's inhabiting this place in the market at the moment, I think people will still opt for this. And most of the people that are going to buy it, it's going to be because they owned a BSA Gold Star back in the day and they sold it when they were 24 and they wish they never had, and now they can't afford one because they're ridiculous amounts of money. And they're going to be looking at this because to the casual observer, unless you look at the front brake disc and the radiator, which, yeah, that's another thing that's a bit of a shame. Oil and air cooling would have been prime. But yeah, you know, to most people this looks like a classic bike, and I think there's a couple of small things that you could do if you're an owner to make it just look that much better as well. I've thoroughly enjoyed riding it. This is really a little bit more of a first impression review than the one that I got at Goodwood, because I am gonna have to get a bike on the road. That's going to be a feature that Visordown does. We've actually got somebody lined up who owns an original BSA Gold Star, an absolute minter of a bike, who has agreed to let us borrow it, and we're going to do a head-to-head with him, with his old one and with this one, and then we're going to both swap bikes. So stay tuned for that feature. I've been Toad Hancocks. This is Visordown.com from Millbrook on the new 2022 BSA Gold Star. Thank you very much, folks, and I'll see you on the next one.